Hello and welcome back, and in this lesson let's have a look at what we've learned and what we can do with what we've just learned. I'm going to make myself we're going to concentrate on doing a two-tone picture, so we'll do a little landscape there. So first of all, let's get a mixture of blue. Let me just show you me mixing that blue. I'll get plenty of water and I'll make a mixture of blue there, and I'll get myself a little bit of, this is called Opera Rose, and that's a lovely colour. So we've got a mixture of these two. Oh, just splashed a bit on there, so that's a nice colour. Let's just put that colour on there. Just lay it on. We're just laying it down. Laying it down. There you go. And we'll keep that. We'll add a little bit of blue. This blue. This is French ultramarine blue. This just to the top. And you see now where we've got these two colours, they're just mixing. I'll take that off there. They're just mixing together. Now, the great thing about when you take your board down, you can lift things up and you can move things around as you do, like that. And if you want, you can, what I call, give it a shimmy, 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 shake. And you can let all those colours mix together. Now then, because this is a rough paper, we've got tiny little crevices inside there, and the French ultramarine is sinking down because it's quite a heavy pigment. It's sinking down into these crevices. Now if I was to get my hairdryer on that, it'd lift that all up to the top and you wouldn't get that beautiful that granulation over there. You lose it. So it's always a good idea just to let it dry naturally. Now I'm going to introduce another brush, which is my round brush. It's a size 12. Let's go with it. Details of where you can get all these brushes will be on my website. And all I'm going to do is just scoot that across the top there, across the bottom I mean, to give it a nice light edge. There we are. And now I don't want that well there, that bead, so I'll lift that off now. Now we'll let that dry naturally. Okay, back when it's dry, go and get yourself a cup of tea, a bit of toast, and come back in 15 minutes and that'll be dried. Actually, before that dries, I'm going to create a couple of clouds in here. So by doing that, while it's still wet, still drunk, I'm going to get a handkerchief and just press into it. Press in there. And we'll press over there as well. Now, that's made that relatively dry. And that's fine, so we can let that all dry naturally. So what we're going to do now is, as that's quite dried, I won't touch that because that is wet. I'm going to use my little brush there. It's a round brush. And listen, you don't have to get those brushes that I'm talking about. You can just pop into your hobby shop and get yourself something like that. It's nice and cheap and cheerful. That's a number 6 round. This will do a pretty much good job as well. So what we're going to do is create a couple of trees in this area. There. A couple of trees, simple trees. We're just going to use a bit of the same colour as that, the sky colour, but just just a couple of like semicircles there at the top. Now there. Now what we need to do is wet the bottom of that down to the horizon and lift some of that pigment out with your brush. There we go. Now that's a nice sharp edge that. Now if you want it to be a soft edge, you just have a damp brush, not a wet brush, a damp brush, and just touch the edges. Touch that edge. And you see it loses that edge. It's called a lost edge. We have lost edges and found edges. There we go. So now we've got some lost edges here. We've got a found edge there, a lost edge there, found edge down there, found edge there. This is all lost, and it makes us feel that there's a bit of mist in the background, or it's just breaking up that our view of those trees. And we'll put another some smaller ones over here, some smaller ones there, and just do that. And we'll just add a bit of dampness at the bottom, and we'll make it into a lost edge at most of it, because that's right in the distance, that is. Okay, let's see if we can lose a bit of that edge there as well. There we go. That's all I'm doing is I'm bringing this down to a nice little point. Okay, now most have dried, that's nearly dried now. So once that's dried, let's zoom this in now so you can see what we're going to do. Right, what we're going to do is with a nice pointy brush, I use that with the same one that I've just used to do these, but I'm making sure that this edge is really pointy. Right, nice and sharp at the edge, okay? Touch it, it's quite dry. Now I'm just going back into the same mixture, and with the very, very tip of it, well, just put a couple of little sticks in there, like tree trunks and branches along there. There you go. And the same all the way along there. So we've got a nice bunch of trees. There we are. That's simple, isn't it? And the same with this one. Try and get a pointy edge on that. With a little point. And when you're doing your branches, make them a little bit crooked. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce another brush to you, and this is a flat brush. This is a flat brush. Oh, where are we? There we go. And you see it's got a nice flat edge. Yeah, this is number 12. And you can see on my website where to get these brushes from. Now I'm going to just nick a little bit of orange colour to this, and with that flat edge, paint all the way across there like that. A bit more orange. More real lovely orangey colour. Yeah, it contrasts beautifully. We've got a nice golden field there in front of our scene. There you go. Right, let's let that dry and we'll come back in a minute. Welcome back, and we're going to just bring this down there so you can see it more. Now with this flat brush has got many functions. One of them is to use it just as a flat brush. Another one, you can use it by just dabbing the tip on the paper, and it gives your foreground a little bit of texture. Just like that. And you can change that colour up a little bit. I've just added a bit more orange now. As we get closer to us, we can make this colour a little bit darker. And the more, the looser that watercolour you put on there, it's a little bit thicker. So there we are. Right, now I think what we'll do is add a little bit of hedges over, so just and as we get closer to us, those hedges are a little bit bigger, or the wall, wherever you want it to be. And we'll put one on that side as well. There you go. Now, with a finer brush, you can maybe, I'm using this brush, my favourite brush is, you can put a little house in the background. A titty little house, a little baby house. Just in the distance. And a little thing, a couple of marks there where things are going on and we don't know quite what it is. It just makes the viewer have a little bit of interest. There's some more houses. There you go. How pretty is that? So that's what you can do with a flat wash, a handkerchief dabbing in, some little trees, and we're using a pointy brush, putting those trees, those branches and trunks in, and with your flat brush make a nice foreground there, and that was easy. So come back on the next lesson, I'll see what else we can do. Thank you for watching.